your video, Barbie Who. It was so good. It was so fun. And it's just so necessary right now because I loved the opening where you're just like standing there and like trying to like translate, okay, this is what a guy is saying and this is what he means. It's so true. And I'm just impressed that at, your age, that because I'm a few years older than you. And when I was your age, it was a little more crazy. So you've been through some heartbreaks, it sounds like.
Definitely, but I've seen my friends go through it, and I think that's what really has taught me a lot of lessons. And I was actually talking with a couple of my friends last night about how this, like, no matter how different your situation is, we kind of act the same and go through the same things when it comes to exactly what's happening, but we sometimes aren't able to. And so because I've seen that happen to my friends so many times, I always know the signs. I know exactly what they all say, because it's all, no matter how different the situations are, it's all the same. It's crazy.
I totally agree. And it's tough right now because it's like we have the quarantine blues because of this pandemic. We have the exes who are coming back because they're lonely. We have like a whole bunch of things going on. And then we have ourselves that we need to take care of. Like, excuse me, like we're number one, right? So then when you add like guys into the mix, it gets toxic on both ends of things, I feel. And I'm really happy that you put this song out, and the writing is so fun, and it's a sample from, I hear the melody. Where is that from? The inspiration?
It's an interpolation of Right Now by Akon. So
Akon.
yeah, it's the melody from that song, and then we turned it in, because in that song it's like more of a love song, and we turned it into a breakup song, which I think kind of fits perfectly with everything that I have ever said in my life.
Yeah, no, for real.
The breakup song, right down my alley.
Yes. And it's funny because, when we're like in middle school and high school, we went through our little like middle school, high school stuff. And then now we're adults, and then we're still trying to figure it out. And then, you're an artist, so you have that world. So it's just so interesting, like the moving parts to everything. And I'm really happy that you're able to, use what you're learning from your friends to put out this really dope, fun song.
Thank you. Yeah. It's definitely, I feel like I always try to turn like the negative things about, the relationship, try to turn it into a positive thing by like through my music. And I know that everyone can kind of relate to the things that I've gone through because, like I said, it's all the same. At the end of the day, it's all the same. So if I can help people see through the love blindness, that's what I was trying to do at the beginning of that video. Like, if I can help people with that, that's all I need. So
yeah. Do you have an example of like something that all your friends were telling you, like, girl, he did this, like, why are you still talking to him? And then you're just like, oh, well, I think I like him, or like whatever the case may be.
I feel like it's happened with like all of the guys that I really, really was into. And it's me. And so in the very, very beginning of quarantine, like before it even really started, like right when I came home from tour, before lockdown was in place or anything, me and my best friend who I was living with at the time, we both kind of went back to our exes in the beginning, and we both were like kind of letting each other do. So I couldn't tell him to stop because I was doing the same thing. And then we both kind of realized like this is the dumbest thing we've ever done. And yeah.
I definitely have some beginning of quarantine regrets, not gonna lie. So I didn't even know that you were from Napa. Like, you're so close to the Bay Area in San Francisco. So how did you go from Napa to LA? What was that transition?
I mean, once like after my song I Hate You, I Love You came out and I started making music, I kind of was like, I have to be in LA, just that's where all the producers are. And I also just didn't have the best time growing up. And it's like when you live in because Napa is a small town, like when I loved going to San Francisco. Like if I was to do anything, I would go to the city. Like I would go, like if I needed to go to a concert or if I wanted to go shopping, like I would just always go to the city because Napa doesn't really have, I mean, unless you're going wine tasting, which I was like 14, so I don't think that would be appropriate. Yeah, and I also went to Catholic school, so the kids were kind of not the nicest to me as I started making music, and I was just like, you know what, I just want to be in LA where people kind of like are doing the same thing as me, and maybe like I can make friends who like the fact that I'm making music and are interested in the same things as me. So yeah, I think I moved to LA. I was like halfway there when I was like 16. And then I think actually, no, I fully moved there when I was like 16 and a half.
Mm-hmm. On the bullying part, because I went to school too, Catholic school my whole life, and that's the irony of it, is that like no matter what kind of school you go to, like there's still going to be some mean kids, and that sucks. But I'm happy that you were able to go through that and get through that, and now you're making dope music. You have your dope song coming out. Are you working? I mean, your video that just came out. Are you working on more stuff right now? Are you working on like putting together something small or possibly an album?
I want to put out an album at the beginning of next year, but I do have, before that, I have a couple of songs that I'm planning on putting out, so they're like done and ready. And I've had a lot of songs that have been done and ready for a while, and then quarantine and stopping my tour, and then Coachella wasn't happening, so everything was kind of planned around like, oh, I'm putting this out before Coachella, or I'm putting this out after tour, whatever it was. Like it all kind of got pushed back, so we had to kind of start from square one. But I think we have a little bit of a plan in place, so.
Yay! Oh my gosh, we're so excited. Your song, like I said, is lit. Your video, you look so good. I'm really happy that the message you're putting out there, like girls, don't believe these things that these little boys are telling us, because our hearts are fragile and our hearts should not be getting broken. I'm very, very proud of you. From our first interview to now, you're just growing, and it's great to see where you're going. And do you have any message to our San Francisco Wild Indie Brand listeners?
Ooh, I mean, honestly, like I feel my like best, most dedicated like day one fans are all from the Bay Area, just because like it's where I grew up, and it's like the place where like y'all, Bay Area stations always play my music more than like anywhere else, and like have always given me the most support. So, and my shows in the Bay are always the best, the most lit, the most fun, insane. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support, because it's just my favorite place. So thank you.
Oh, we love you too. Thank you so much for coming on this interview with us. We're excited to hear more of your music. We're excited to blast your song, and just thanks for talking to me and chilling out.
Yeah, thanks for having me.